And now from McAllen City Hall, a meeting of the McAllen City Commission.
Hello everyone. I'll call this meeting to order. My name is Omar Quintanilla and I'm Mayor Pro Tem. Happy to fill in for our Mayor, Villalobos, who's away today. We're going to begin by the Pledge of Allegiance. That will be followed by the invocation by Commissioner Jose Pepe Cabeza de Vaca.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for having this privilege of serving our city. I pray, Father, that as we discuss our agenda and craft policies for our city, we will always put the people's interest above our own. Remind us, Father, that we are in this position not to be served, but to serve the public, just as Christ, who is King, came not to be served, but to serve, and ultimately die on the cross to save us. I also pray, Father, that we will uphold what is moral and rational. In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen.
Amen.
Before we begin, I wanted to ask Commissioner Pepe Cabeza de Vaca why he's wearing a SaberCat jersey.
Mayor Pro Tem, so a couple of weeks ago I made a bet with Edinburgh Mayor Ramiro Garza about the McAllen Memorial Mustangs game versus the SaberCats. I'm very proud of our Mustangs. Our Mustangs really put their heart out there. They played a tremendous game. Mind you, Vela is seed number 3, in their RGV, and there was a back and forth. Memorial was winning, and at the last second, Vela came out victorious. Our bet was that whoever was gonna lose the game will wear that shirt at the next city commission. And SaberCats win. I'm still very proud of the McAllen Memorial Mustang. They really play their hearts out there, and I'm paying my debt to Ramiro Garza.
Well, a bet is a bet.
There it is. Yes, sir. A bet is the bet. And
congratulations to the SaberCats for that win.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. So we're going to continue along, and I'll open up the public hearing part of this meeting.
You've got public comment requests. We've got public comment requests, is that right, Pidla?
2, right?
2.
Okay.
For what items?
These 2.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So, under routine items, we have item 1A, 1, 2, and 3.
Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioner, good afternoon. We have 3 items on the routine listed today, which can be one vote or taken individually if desired to discuss the item. First request is to rezone from R1 to R3A, a property located at 3401 Lomita Road. Comes with a positive recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission. Second request is for a conditional use permit for 1 year and adoption of an ordinance for an event center, property located at 601 East Nolana Avenue. It was disapproved, but comes with a favorable recommendation by the commission to grant the distance requirement. And the third request is a conditional use permit for life of the use and adoption of an ordinance for a guest house for a property located at 2220 South 26th Street. This too is disapproved, but comes with a favorable recommendation in regards to the lot size requirements.
Is there anyone here in opposition to any of these 3 items?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve all 3 items. I'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. B.
The next item is a conditional use permit, item B1. It's a tabled item. We asked that it be removed from the table for consideration.
Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved. To remove from table. Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Okay, this is a request for a conditional use permit for a bar for 1 year at property located at 1200 Auburn Avenue, Suite 320. It's located on the north side of Auburn, west of North 10th Street. This property is zone C3, and you do have surrounding zonings of AO, R1, C3, and R3A, and a mixture of commercial restaurants, vacant land, single-family properties in the adjacent area. You also have a drain ditch to the west and north side of the particular property. The proposal is to operate a bar from the 2,925 square foot lease space within the commercial plaza. Hours of operation are Tuesday and Thursday through Sunday from 8 p.m. till 2 a.m. The request has been inspected by the fire department, and they are okay to continue with the conditional use permit process. The requirements must comply with section 138.118 of the zoning ordinance. It does meet requirements with the exception of the distance to a residentially zoned property. You do have residential to the north, south, and to the west of this location. That's within 400 feet. Staff did receive one call prior to the PNC meeting expressing concerns with noise issues. The item was considered September 19th by the Planning and Zoning Commission. There was no opposition present at the meeting. Following discussion of the item, the board voted unanimously to disapprove the request, but recommend a favorable recommendation to the City Commission regarding the district requirements, and there were 5 members present and voting.
Is there anyone here to speak in opposition to this item? Is there a motion?
Motion to approve conditional use permit as requested.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
And I'll abstain.
Okay, with one abstention. Item C, amendment of the zoning ordinance.
So vote to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. D.
D is a public hearing regarding the 23-24 proposed assessments within the Tres Lagos Public Improvement District, 23-24 Service and Assessment Plan, and the 23-24 Assessment Roll. We have David.
Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioner, City Manager. My name is David Earl with Earl & Associates on behalf of Rhodes Enterprises to provide you with this information during the public hearing for the 2023-2024 Service and Assessment Plan for the Public Improvement District for Tres Lagos. This is an annual update as required by Chapter 372 of the Texas Local Government Code. This update involves all the tracts within the PID of Tres Lagos. Currently, the assessed market value, I'm pleased to announce to you, is gone up to $359,583,141. The current outstanding indebtedness is $23,185,000. And all the assessments have remained the same. The amount of debt service outstanding is reducing with the debt service being made on an annual basis. As you know, the Tres Lagos project is located at the corner of Monte Cristo and Ware Road. This map indicates the original boundaries of the Public Improvement District. And on August 8th, 2022, McAllen City Commission approved Resolution 2022-35, which authorized the expansion of the PID boundaries to add approximately 150 acres on the other side of Ware Road, south of Monte Cristo, in return for the 100 acres donated for the A&M campus within the project. These exhibits show the expanded PID area that are currently included now into the PID. In the 2023-2024 assessment plan, there are 3 separate assessment categories. The first is a debt service assessment, which is levied on every tract in the district. However, the landowners do not have to pay that because it is being made by the TERS revenue in addition to contribution by the developer, which now is no longer going to be required because the TERS will make the debt service completely. It's been very successful. Second category is the maintenance assessment. This is now broken up into 2 subcategories. The ordinance maintenance assessment, which is at 25 cents, that gets assessed to all properties within the district that have use of the facilities like the clubhouse and the other amenities for the property owners to enjoy. And the second is a limited benefit maintenance assessment, which is at 12.5 cents, which is assessed against apartments, commercial properties that do not have access to the swimming pool and other amenities and do not pay for the upkeep of those particular amenities. Lastly, we have the supplemental service assessment or technology assessment. This is an assessment at $80 a month for which the property owners and members in the district get full internet access, Wi-Fi, cable television, phone over internet protocol, and a number of other benefits within their homes at a discounted price. And those are all bid out periodically to make sure they're competitive. The next slides I'll let you read on your own, but basically it gives you the methodology for making these assessments and the calculations on how each service assessment is made, debt service assessment is made, and the special assessments are made. They're all done in compliance with Chapter 372.013 of the PID Act, and nothing has changed from last year with regard to the amount of these assessments. One of the requirements of 372 is there's a 5-year rolling budget. What you have before you now, and it's in your package, is that 5-year projected rolling budget. And what's interesting, as you can see, as we get into year 2028, the third revenue item, which is developer loan, actually dwindles down to $59,000. So as projected, this PID becomes self-sufficient in 2029, and thereon it'll be self-sufficient. Actually, we'll start building up reserves and repaying the previous lending that it made to make the maintenance taken care of. And those maintenance costs are all done at the cost of the PID without being borne by the taxpayers of the city. The maintenance assessment, again, is divided into 2 categories. This goes through that description for you, so you have that to look at your leisure, and it gives you the calculations on each of these particular assessments. So our recommendation is to approve the service and assessment plan for 2023-24 and implement the debt service assessment as shown, the maintenance assessment with both the subcategory of the ordinary maintenance assessment and the limited benefit maintenance assessment, the ordinary at 25 cents per hundred and the limited benefit at 12.5 cents per hundred, and also the special service assessment, which remains unchanged at $8 a month. So our recommendation is to approve those and also to approve the assessment roll and levy these assessments on the properties within the district. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Cheryl, could you refresh my memory? What was the assessment from the prior year?
It was 20 cents. The one that was difficult to decide on was the maintenance assessment. That went up from 20 cents to 25 cents. As you can see, no one's here in opposition, I don't believe, to it. We've worked really hard to explain to the residents and landowners the need for that change due to inflation and some underestimation of cost at the beginning of the project. And that is going to maintain now that level. And as you saw, it will actually balance out in 2028 as projected. So that was the issue that was before us last year, but that's been resolved. And I want to compliment the residents in the district. They've really stepped up and gotten very involved with committees. We've put committees together, Finance Committee and other committees who have been meeting, working with the PID board, keeping up to date, sending out information, analyzing the finances of the district.
Thank you.
Anyone from the public that would want to make a comment? Okay, if you can come to the podium. And please state your name, please.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Rosalinda Martinez Deverant. I'm a resident from Tres Lagos, and I am in opposition to the increase that he just mentioned. It's just, I guess, when is enough enough? Every year it's going up, 5 cents now. And then the property, the retail, I guess it's what, 12.5? That's what the retail, the shops, they're going to end up paying half in the residents. Yet, to my understanding, those retail shops, all that is owned by roads. So I feel as a resident that our taxes keep on increasing, and when is it enough? That's just how I feel. That's why I'm here today with my husband and my daughter.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Anyone else to speak on this agenda item? Any other comments from the board?
I guess just for the record, Mayor Pro Tem, this is an assessment that's being proposed. It's not a tax increase. There was an increase from 20 cents on the assessment to 25 cents last year, but compared to last year to this year, there's no increase, correct?
That is correct. And it is not a tax, it is an assessment.
Right.
And it has not gone up this year. I know that we're all feeling the pressures of the economy, but there has been no increase from last year at all. There was a one-time increase just to make an adjustment to make the budget work, and that was it.
Anyone else from the public want to make a comment? Okay, then we'll move on to item E, public hearing on 2023 proposed tax rate.
Did we have to? No.
Do we need action on that?
No, no action.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem and City Commission. This is basically a public hearing on the notice of public tax increase. We published before you probably have the notice of public hearing on tax increase. I submitted that in your packet. That was published in the Monitor. It was also on our webpage, and it was also on our public channel. So basically, this is just for anybody that's, in the public invited to speak for or against.
Okay, is there anybody here that would like to speak on this item regarding the proposed tax rate? For or against? This is an agenda item that we have a little further on. It's item 4A, so we'll be taking it up at that point and be taking a roll call vote at that point as well. So there be no further comments, then I'll close the end of, well, this will be the end of the public hearing part. I'll close that part of it, and we'll go on to item 2, the consent agenda.
Mayor Pro Tem, you've got items 2A through 2L that we're recommending approval as one. However, if you would like to pull any item, we can do so. I recommend approval.
So these are routine items by the governing body. Are there any items that you would want to take out of the consent agenda and review them separately?
Motion to approve 2A to 2L.
Okay, there's a motion. Do you have a comment?
2C.
2C? Okay, we'll remove 2C.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that one separately. So you want to amend your motion?
Yeah, I mentioned 2A to 2L, and excluding
C. Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item 2C.
Mayor Pro Tem, I recently, last week, got information from a constituent. They had noticed or detected, sorry.
Go ahead.
Hello, Mayor Pro Tem, City Manager, Commissioners. Item 2C is the submission for award of contract for trimming and peeling of palm trees. The Parks and Recreation Department recommends award of contract to Rod's Lawn Care and Landscaping for the service contract of trimming and peeling of tall palm trees in the amount of $94,755 as per the bid submitted. Any questions?
Yes, I got a call from a constituent who's very involved with the memos, and I think on one or two occasions he's seen the trucks that are used by the independent contractor to do the trimming. That his observation has been that sometimes those trucks, which I meant are just commercial-sized pickle trucks, they leak or drop oil.
Okay.
And it kind of leaves the nasty stain on the pavement, or maybe pavement bricks or whatnot. Maybe that's something you can address. Obviously, it's not on the agenda specifically, but it's a collateral issue that was raised.
Okay, we definitely will address it with them. Any
Okay,
other
is there a
questions?
motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Thank
Aye.
you.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item 3A.
3A is consideration and authorization to declare city vehicles and property as surplus.
Mayor, City Commission, Public Works is requesting authorization to declare as surplus 28 city vehicles and 939 miscellaneous items. They seem to be inoperable, unusable, worn out, and obsolete. Various times throughout the year, the city conducts auctions to dispose of property that is not cost efficient to repair or is unsafe to operate. Proceeds go to corresponding funds. Staff recommends approval.
Any comments, questions?
Double.
There's a motion. And a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. 3B.
B is award contract.
Well, it would be nice to point out that many of are police vehicles, so we're revamping the police so that, the vehicles that take that use, so the vast majority of them are police vehicles, so that the public knows that we're moving and getting new vehicles for the force.
Good point.
B is award of contract for the purchase of 8 new current model vehicles through cooperative pricing.
Again, Public Works is seeking authorization to award a purchase contract with Randall Reed's Planet for 635 from Garland, Texas for 8 new vehicles through a cooperative purchase. In August of 2023, fleet staff solicited quotes from various cooperative vendors, but only received one. All 8 vehicles are over budget by a total of $11,883. We're proposing to reallocate funds at the beginning of next fiscal year. Due to the availability of vehicles, staff recommends approval.
Any questions?
So moved.
Second. There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
C is consideration and authorization to remove the second quarter of fiscal year 22-23 uncollectible sanitation and drainage accounts.
Public Works is seeking authorization to remove the uncollectible sanitation and drainage accounts that have been identified as delinquent customer service accounts for the second quarter of fiscal year 22-23. The combined total of uncollectible fees is $9,902.66, reflecting a 70% of uncollectible debt. Staff recommends approval.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All
Thank you.
opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Thank you.
D is consideration and approval of an interlocal agreement between Hidalgo County and the City of McAllen for on-site sewage facilities.
Good evening. Respectfully requesting approval to enter into an interlocal agreement with the County of Hidalgo for on-site sewage facilities to support all of Texas Commission of Environmental Quality required processes. The City of McAllen has lost their sanitarian to retirement and is currently transitioning the entire OSSF process to the building department. The building department is currently receiving the training necessary to qualify for this role as part of TCEQ's under the responsible licensing guidance. It is necessary to have a qualified licensed entity in order to support the City of McAllen in all OSSF activities, which will include inspections, complaints, advice to property owners, final approvals, and reporting into the on-site activity reporting system. The County of Hidalgo is currently TCEQ qualified and has agreed to enter into an interlocal agreement with the City of McAllen to support such needs as requested. Your approval is requested.
Any comments?
Motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank
All
you.
opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
E is consideration and approval of an interlocal agreement with the City of Edinburgh for drainage infrastructure improvements on Northgate Lane drainage.
Mayor Pro Tem and Commission, the City of Edinburgh wishes to install storm sewer infrastructure serving the immediate vicinity of North 2nd Street and Hobbs within the Edinburgh corporate limits. The improvements will require an outfall into the City of McAllen's adjacent storm sewer system under construction with Northgate Lane Drainage and Improvements Project. This ILA will also formalize the City of Edinburgh's participation with the 1/3 of the total cost to relocate their sanitary sewer found in conflict with the proposed City of McAllen storm sewer trunk line, which was previously approved. This scope and cost was recently presented to City Commission on September 11th. Staff recommends approval of the interlocal agreement, and we open it up for any questions.
Any questions?
So the City of Edinburgh is going to reimburse us. So
Once the project is completed, they'll reimburse us the $38,946 and any overruns that could occur as a result of that infrastructure.
Okay.
Where's the outfall for this project on Northgate?
The drain ditch that runs along Wisconsin, east-west, it's
that's right.
it's just south of Northgate.
Motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
F is consideration and approval of change order number 1 for the Quince Avenue and North 8th Street drainage improvement.
Mayor Pro Tem and Commission, change order number 1 for the Quince Avenue and 8th Street Drainage Improvement Project is for additional scope. It's for an unanticipated asbestos waterline adjustment required to install the storm sewer infrastructure. The cost, the engineer of record, Half and Associates, and staff recommend approval of the change order number 1 in the amount of $16,250 with 14 additional days for a revised contract amount of $212,756.92 and a revised contract amount of 74 days, and we open it for any questions.
Water line adjustment.
So basically, when we opened up the road, our storm line is right on that asbestos line. Those asbestos line are very fragile. Water department requires us to readjust those and turn them into PVC.
Got it. Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
G is consideration and approval of change order number 1 for the City Hall canopy upgrades.
Mayor Pro Tem and Commission, City Hall canopy upgrades and interior improvement. Change order number 1 is for delay days due to shortage of materials. A letter from the suppliers included with an explanation. Also included is the added scope of work to remove the existing middle doors in the waiting area to make the area bigger for the visitors' security screening system. The cost of change order number 1 is $2,785 with 26 cents. Staff recommends approval of change order number 1, and we open it up for any questions.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
H is consideration and approval of change order number 1 for the fire training facility.
The fire training facility change order number 1 is for the change in specified contract recommended by the design team. The supplier informed the design team that there's a concern about the availability on the specified product. The change in the manufacturer, which still meets the required specifications provided by the City of McAllen, a credit of negative $14,922.70. Also included in change order number 1 is the addition of a fire main relocation of the FDC and a storm line shifting in the amount of $18,477. The total net change of the change order is $3,554.30. The design firm and staff recommend approval of change order number 1 in the amount of $3,554.30 with 0 additional days. And we open it up for any questions.
Where did we originally get the credit from?
There's a tile that they're telling us that they're having trouble stocking, or we're going to have trouble getting. So they had a substitution for that. That substitution gave us a credit of $14,000.
Oh, I see. So it's lesser in price?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I see. Motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
I is consideration and approval of change order number 3 for Northgate Lane drainage.
Mayor Pro Tem and Commission, change order number 3 consists of the addition of contract scope as related to previously unidentified conflicts and program adjustments to driveways and infrastructure. The overruns are for drainage improvements, including roadway material, concrete pipe, concrete driveways, culverts, irrigation line repair, concrete pipe extensions, inlets, and manhole installation and valley gutter removal. Staff recommends approval of change order number 3 in the amount of $102,171.82 with 20 additional calendar days for the revised contract amount of $1,570,649.40 and a revised contract time of 290 days. $38,946 of that change order is being covered by Edinburgh. It's not in the memo, but just wanted to let you know.
By Edinburgh.
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
How far along are we? What's the percentage of completion, and when is the?
So we've finished
Due date.
most of Northgate. We've already paved. That part is ready. Second Street, we're taking the outfall right now. We anticipate finishing before January. In talking with staff, we think late November, early December, but contract time is till January.
Let's try to make it before the
Yes, sir.
holiday season. That's why.
We're pushing to be.
And
we
the
hope to be
bad
substantially
weather,
complete
that's why.
before, and we'll make that push. We'll let them know.
So this is a change in scope, not just a change order that.
So some was additional ads, and a lot of it is just overruns in quantities. We had additional lime in one of them because the testing required us to do an extra percentage of lime. Some driveways ended up being a little wider, accommodate some of the residents out there.
What percentage completion do you think we are on this?
I would say we're about 80, 85. We're,
Okay,
we're
so
fairly far along.
We're far along, okay. So the change orders, in addition to this, is not expected to be a whole.
No, we're looking to wrap up fairly soon.
There was a lot.
I'd give you a more optimistic date, but I tend to miss the mark, so that's why we went with
Yeah.
late November,
That's okay.
early December.
No, and there were a tremendous amount of conflicts there that came out during construction. Okay.
Is there a motion?
So moved to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
J is award of contract for the Idela Avenue drainage improvements.
So Mayor Pro Tem and Commission, these are CDBG projects. The project focus, this project focuses on addressing localized flooding issues along Idela Avenue between South 29th Street and 33rd Street. The scope of work includes storm sewer infrastructure upgrades consisting roughly of 545 linear feet of storm sewer, grade inlets, junction boxes, and related pavement reconstruction. Staff recommends award to the lowest responsive bidder, J&S Construction Management LLC of San Juan, Texas, in the amount of $183,618.55, with a contract time not to exceed 90 calendar days, and subject to a CDBG budget amendment. We open it up for any questions.
So moved to approve.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
K is award of contract for the Main Street and Fur Avenue drainage.
Mayor Pro Tem and Commission, again, this is CDBG funded project. The project focuses on addressing localized flooding issues in the immediate vicinity of Main Street and Fur. The scope of work includes storm sewer infrastructure upgrades, roughly 375 linear feet of storm sewer curb inlets, junction boxes, and pavement reconstruction. Staff recommends award to the lowest responsive bidder, Moreville LLC of Mission, Texas, in the amount of $150,587.31, with a contract time of 90 days, and this does require a CDBG budget amendment, and we open it up for any questions.
Any questions? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
There's a motion and a second by Commissioner Udit. All in
Second.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
L is award of contract for the terminal, airport terminal heating, ventilation, and air conditioning and lighting efficiency improvements, the McAllen International Airport.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and Commission. Staff recommends award of contract to the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, NM Contracting of McAllen, Texas, in the amount of $2,780,600 with a contract time of 180 calendar days. This is subject to adoption of the department's requested fiscal year 23-24 budget.
How does it work with the alternates? What exactly is it alternate one and alternate two?
Alternate 1 and alternate 2 were put there because of the controls for the HVAC system. Alternate 1 would have been to keep the existing control system, which is proprietary. So we have to use that one vendor for all the PM, which has been getting more expensive year over year.
Okay.
Alternate 2 replaces the control system altogether, and which gives us a non-proprietary type of control system that's...
So replacing the system, the winning bidder had a negative amount for that part, while all the others had 750,000, 650,000, 856,000.
Mhm.
It just throws me off. I'm not sure how that works out.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It must have been something with their subcontractor that they're going to use, but essentially you see the higher cost in alternate 1 because of that one proprietary contractor probably had a real high bid as far as having to use their controls.
And every contractor's got their own advantages, Commissioner, you know, depending on who their supplier is, who their contractor is. If you look at the mechanical and lighting, they were higher than the second, third bidder. So they loaded it there for whatever reason, either because they don't have the advantage that the others do, and they were able to reduce it on the alternates. And so every contractor is going to have a different number.
Yeah, but I've never seen a negative in an alternate.
Remind me again, DBE, what does that stand for?
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
That's the Advantage Business Enterprise. But again, if you look at their first two line items, just the next bidder, he's $600,000 higher than the next bidder. So he's got room, right? And for whatever reason, he felt that alternate is an advantage to him, and so that's how he bid it.
Not to disagree with you, but that's a big assumption. I'd rather have a clarification.
Well, they're not going to tell you that.
They're not going to tell you
They're
that?
not going to tell you that.
Can we hold them to this? That when the time comes to replace those controls,
Yeah, no doubt. I mean,
Because
that's,
I suspect we're gonna come back and look at this again through change order number 3 or something.
that's what we're awarding, and that's part of their bid. So when we award it like that, once they
They're bound
sign
to.
the contract, it's a done deal.
Yeah,
What are
seen
the
it before.
wishes?
Okay.
I haven't seen it in a while. Instead, we caught it. Thank you, Commissioner.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We've discussed.
All opposed, same sign. Motion
Aye.
passes. With one opposed.
I'm gonna go negative as well.
Okay, there's 2
Yes,
opposed.
I'm just a
Tomorrow.
little bit, yeah.
Okay, still passes.
Oh, yes, please.
No,
Okay.
it's fine. Good.
On to the next item.
M is consideration approval of a non-exclusive food and beverage
there's
concessionaire
something.
at McAllen International Airport.
Staff recommends approval of a non-exclusive food and beverage concession agreement with Oak Wheels Commuter Rail LLC. The contract term is an 8-year and 5-month base term and a 5-year renewal option. The minimum annual guarantee is a $400,000 MAG per year. That's a 167% increase in total food and beverage revenue. And the vendor is looking at a capital investment of just about $1.1 million. This is going to be in consolidating the pre-security food and beverage and retail into the existing food and beverage, the coffee bar that's pre-security, and then upgrading and relocating, redeveloping the bar post-security. And that would be including the redevelopment of the VIP lounge post-security.
Make a motion to accept.
Second. I couldn't help to notice, and Commissioner, or Mayor Pro Tem brought up or noted the proposal in our packet that they're gonna be looking for local vendors.
Yes, sir.
To
They
put
actually
their product
have,
on there.
yes, sir, they actually have 5 listed on there: Sonia's Tamales, Jitters Coffee, Suhey Tortilleria, Paris Bakery, and they're partnering with UTRGV for their 5x5 brewing, the Vaquero beer.
Good selection. Any other discussion? We have a motion and a second, right?
Yes, we have a motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mayor, item 4A is an adoption of an ordinance approving the City of McAllen annual budget. And I do believe you've got 2 people that would want to speak on that.
Okay, so we have 2 individuals that want to speak on behalf, or on this item. First, Jose Hinojosa.
Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners, City Manager. I won't speak as quickly as the city employees, so I'll take my time. My name is Joe Hinojosa. I'm a leader with Valley Interfaith and also on the board of directors for VIDA, Valley Initiative for Development and Investment. 25 years ago, Valley Interfaith helped pass a half-cent sales tax for economic development. We did this after hearing hundreds of conversations throughout the city. The one thing that kept coming up was an investment in people, human capital investment. Since then, the City of McAllen has invested every year into the ideas that turn into realities. These realities included Milagro Clinic, 2 libraries, recreation centers, after-school programs, and the reason that I'm here this afternoon, VIDA, an adult education workforce development program. I'm here to thank you for that investment that you've made. VIDA has graduated over 5,000 graduates in those 27 years. Many of those coming from McAllen. For every dollar that the City of McAllen has invested, it gets returned over $14 in economic development. So for all the investment that the City of McAllen has been put into Project VIDA, we want to thank you for all of that work, because right now behind me will be a student who would also give her testimony as to the importance of this program. So thank you for your investment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have Elizabeth Cantu next. I think that's who's coming up.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Hello, how are y'all this evening?
Good.
That's good. So I wrote a short essay, or a testament, if you will. So, hello, my name is Elizabeth Cantu, and I hold many different titles, but the ones that I'm most proud of are wife, mother, STC nursing student, and Vida member. Before I embarked on my collegiate career, I was working a retail job, just getting by paycheck to paycheck, taking one college class at a time because that was the only way I could afford to go to school. I didn't qualify for federal financial aid, and I didn't want to incur student debt. So fast forward to 2020, the early days of the pandemic, my family was greatly affected by COVID-19, like so many others. My husband, who is a primary breadwinner, contracted the virus, and he did not work for many months. I had to stop working because I needed to care for him and for my child, who was now at home due to the nationwide school shutdowns. There are many things in life that we cannot control, and for me, that was one of them. I knew that I needed to move fast and move faster to obtain my educational goals, because God forbid the unthinkable would happen. I was always fascinated by the human body and how it functions, and during this time, I did become increasingly invested in wanting to know how to manage and prevent various bodily conditions. Many people describe a calling. I suppose this is how it feels: an extreme interest, a longing, and wanting to do something. So choosing STC nursing program just felt like a puzzle piece that fit. I cannot lie, finances were very heavy on my mind. How was I going to get through school? I was searching online for scholarships, sponsorships, financial aid, anything that could just help me pay for my tuition. And that's when Vida came into my life. I was visiting the Center for Learning Excellence at school when I saw Miss San Juanita Sanchez sitting at a table, and we made eye contact. And she said, hey, have you heard of Vida? And I said no, and she gave me their whole mission, their initiative, and how they help students to pay for their education. Honestly, I did not think I would qualify because I didn't even qualify for financial aid, and I was actually preparing that week to submit for student loans and start incurring student debt. But I got home and I said, I'm gonna apply whatever I need to do. And I did that, and a few weeks later, I got a call from Vida, excuse me, that I qualified. And I cried. I didn't realize how much that was gonna impact me. And since then, Ms. Sanchez has been the ultimate counselor. She educates her members on how to be successful students by implementing schedules, being organized, having accountability, and asking for help if you're overwhelmed. She's also our biggest cheerleader. She always tells us that we can do it, that we can achieve our dreams no matter our age, which really resonates with me because I am an older student. I have a life, and I'm part of a very rigorous program. Sorry, I'm almost at the end. In addition, we're able to contribute to our community by assisting in various fundraising projects and city initiatives. Vida has greatly impacted my life and has taken a weight off my shoulders by assisting with tuition and expenses like books, even my uniform and my shoes. And I'm immensely happy and grateful to be able to focus just on the education, and with hopes of giving back to my community in the near future. So I would like to thank Vida, my counselor, and the council members for hearing my story today. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you for sharing your
Yes.
testimony.
Congratulations. Okay, item 4A.
That was a two. So 4A, members of the commission, Mayor Pro Tem, first I want to thank you all for all of the time that you spend with us in approving the budget. The budget process is a long process for the city of McAllen. I call it the big monster. And, we start in April and we end today. And so for that, I want to thank the staff for their work. The staff really are perfectionists, starting with the budget office, but really including everyone. They really know what they need. We have a lot of interaction as we go through the budget process, and we come to an agreement that we bring to the commission, and then the city commission does changes and amendments and additions and deletions and so on. But it's a rigorous process that you all and this community should be very, very proud of. And so for 23-24, we've got about a $661 million budget for the city of McAllen. I'm going to talk about the tax rate on the next item. It's a big deal. But it's a really, really good budget. It's a very healthy one. It's one that has a reserve that our revenues exceed our expenses, which seems like an anomaly these days, but it's something that you all work very hard to do. The general fund consists of two major revenue sources, sales tax and ad valorem taxes. Sales tax is north of $70 million to the general fund. Ad valorem revenue is about 35% of the general fund. This budget includes increases to compensation for city employees, which is something that we talked about in meeting number 1, and we talked about in the last meeting. And so I'm really proud of what you all did. We've got a minimum of a 3% increase in compensation for city employees, full-time and part-time. That includes the fire department. It also includes a 5% increase in compensation for police, anyone covered by the collective bargaining agreement. And I got to hand it to one of the reporters that asked the question this morning, why the difference? Well, what we try to do, not only for city employees, but also in fire and police, is that we look at the market and establish where we are. And as the city of McAllen, we pride ourselves in being the best at what we do. We have to pay for that too. And so those two markets were different. It looked like the police was a little further behind than fire. After negotiating with the police department and having discussions with the city commission, we agreed on 5%. We also approved for the first time in our history a longevity component to compensation. We've been battling turnover like all cities have, especially through the pandemic. And at one point we were at 18% turnover, and the number of employees that we have, that's almost 500 employees a year that we're turning over. And so we're doing everything that we can to ensure that we slow that down and that we keep the talent that we know that we have. And so I really applaud you for doing the longevity pay. It's the equivalent of $175 per year. We're trying to keep the people that are trained, that are folks that we want to keep. That's the core of our organization. And so this has a big impact really on the middle of the organization and down, because it doesn't matter whether you make $12 an hour or $25 an hour, the longevity pay is going to be the same. And so I applaud you for that. We've got $341 million of capital improvement projects. $341 million. That's 130 plus projects that we are overseeing this year. I've got a list of them here. The top 10 are really great projects that you all have spent a lot of time in discussing and making them happen. The obvious one is Ansel Lewis Bridge. It's well on its way, but that's an $85 million expansion to our port of entry. It also includes Quinta Mazatlan, that I really applaud the staff, management, and that board, along with the city commission, because we worked on it for 8 years before we bid it, and we're gonna deliver a project, I believe, that the city of McAllen and the Rio Grande Valley is going to be very, very proud of. A couple of other major projects are at the airport. We take advantage of all the grant funding that we possibly can, and of course drainage. Drainage is something that the city has been focused on for 5 years. We're way ahead of anyone else in South Texas, and another piece of the puzzle that I think that we can be very, very proud of. We're adding 19 employees for a workforce of 2,500. That's not a lot, but they are employees that we really believe we need. What you saw different this year was that we placed them in internal departments. For the most part, finance, budget, building code, / budget, I didn't approve that, engineering, and so on, to make us more efficient. And so I think it's a product that you should be proud of, and we recommend approval of the budget. It will require a roll call vote.
First of all, I want to thank our city manager and staff for the budget that they presented, for their stewardship, for holding the line on expenses, and for keeping our working capital days on hand high and healthy so that we have a rainy day fund, right? And it's something that we can be happy about, that it's better than most cities in the state of Texas. And I think we can all feel proud about that working capital days, which is our rainy day fund here in McAllen. And so it's a great budget. And any comments from the commission about the budget?
Don't forget that the tax rate is actually being lowered by almost 2 cents, or right at 2 cents, so. Right.
Again,
I think it's pretty big.
Next item.
That's the
Next item.
but yeah.
Yeah, we're very proud of the staff and city management and the rest of our
police.
guys really putting a lot of time and effort into this, and very healthy and budget, and very proud of it. So congratulations to love you.
Roy, the 2,500 includes police and fire.
That's right.
And that's a big part of the 2,500.
Yeah,
That-
316 officers and 180 firefighters.
So you're a little over 500 of the 2,500 are for that.
Yeah, that's a good point, because as you know, we really are proud of the fact that more than 50% of the general fund goes to public safety. So all of the ad valorem tax revenue that we collect, and then some, goes to public safety, fire, police, and so that's a great statistic to tap.
Yep.
Any other comments? Now, we'll take a motion and then a roll call vote.
Move to approve.
Second.
So there's a motion and a second. We'll begin the roll call. Yay or nay from my right?
Yay.
Yay?
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay, with a unanimous vote, the motion passes. Congratulations for the budget, passing of the budget. Item 4B.
4B is also a roll call vote. It is an ordinance adopting the City of McAllen 2023 property tax rate. I'm going to we'll roll it after this item.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Pro Tem, and City Commission. So this agenda item is for the adoption of the 2023 property tax rate. In order to comply with the truth and taxation laws, we have to, of course, hold a public hearing, which we just did. And now we also have to have a certain language that is required when setting the tax rate. I have added that on your agenda packet as well. So you all, whoever moves to.
Yep. So the motion is before you on the agenda. It has to be made exactly as it's presented there. If anybody, is there any comments or questions? If not, we'll take that motion at this time.
Make a motion and move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.457285 cents, which is effectively a 5.03% increase in the tax rate. This year's proposed rate of 0.457285 cents is allocated at the rate of 0.418013 hundredths for maintenance and operations, and 0.039272 for debt service.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. We'll take a roll call vote. Yay?
Yay.
Yay?
Yay.
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 Okay, unanimous vote once again. Thank you very
Mayor Pro
much.
Tem, I'll just add that to make it clear on the record for our
Yes.
citizens, the tax rate is moving from 0.4799 to a 0.457285. So it's a reduction of 2.2 cents on the tax rate, which is equivalent of 4.7% reduction in the tax rate. And that's on top of 3.2% reduction last year.
Last year's.
So I really applaud you for that. And so, because of how the truth in taxation works, we must say that language that we did. And so people ask, so why is that? And why is it that you're reducing the property tax rate, but we have to say that we're increasing the total tax? And that's because we bring in more revenue, and that we don't hide that. We've had a tremendous amount of growth in the city of McAllen. That growth is due to the Hidalgo County Appraisal District. I'm not for or against what they do. They do their job. Our job is to push that property tax rate down as much as possible. And we've done that 2 years in a row. If the growth continues, we should expect that to continue. And so the taxpayer is always top of mind for the city commission and city management. And so, again, I'm really proud of what you're doing today.
Excellent. 2 years in a row.
Thank you, Roy. I understand we have a video now
Oh, yeah, we got a
from the
video
mayor.
of
Thank
somebody
you.
in Alaska.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to take a moment to share some great news with you all. I am incredibly proud of our City Commission, administration, staff, and most importantly, our dedicated citizens. Together, we've achieved something truly remarkable for our community. Today is a day of celebration as we adopt the 2023-2024 budget for our great city of McAllen. Our city's financial health is in excellent shape, and our future looks very promising. Thanks to the hard work and thoughtful planning of everyone involved, we are able to lower our tax rate for the second year in a row. This lightens the load of our hard-working residents and fulfills our promise to our community. What's even more impressive is that we have a very healthy rainy day reserve. This means that we are well prepared to face any unexpected challenge that may come our way. This achievement is a testament to the hard work, dedication, and spirit of our wonderful community. It's a reminder that when we work together, great things happen. I'm proud to be serving as your mayor, and together with our commission, we continue this incredible journey to prosperity. So let's celebrate this milestone as we look forward to a brighter and even more prosperous McAllen. Thank you, everyone, for your hard work, commitment, and support. Together, we are making history.
All right, thank you, Mayor, for that. Item 4C.
4C is discussion and possible action on an ordinance approving and adopting the Tres Lagos Public Improvement District 23-24 Service and Assessment Plan, 23-24 Assessment Roll, establishing classifications for the apportionment, et al.
Okay, so this is an item that we heard earlier in the agenda. Any other comments to make?
No, just if you have any questions.
Okay, any questions from the commission?
No.
Now we'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve said ordinance.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item D.
D is request of Trian Consultants LLC on behalf of CM Properties to abandon an existing access easement on 4101 North M Street.
Okay, this property is located in the northwest corner of Nolana and Jackson Road. It is C3 as well as surrounding properties with mixture of commercial, vacant property, and medical facilities to the south. The request specifically is to abandon a 0.185 acre tract of land, which is an access easement, while maintaining the utility easement on lots 38, 41, 42, and 43 of Egoa Business Campus Subdivision Phase 1. The basis for the request is to allow for the proposed development, which provides for a driveway at a different location, and the property to the south developed without utilizing the access easement. The right-of-way department did notify the appropriate departments. There was no objections to the request, thus recommending approval. Staff recommends approval of the abandonment request only to the access easement as requested, while maintaining the utility easement in place.
Any comments, questions?
To approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Thank you.
5A.
5A is resolution of the Commissioner of the City of McAllen, Texas, accepting the resignation of Melba D. Carvajal and designating Valeria Rios as an investment officer. Mayor and Commissioners, as you know, Melba Carvajal, along with Sergio Villasana, our Finance Director, Mark Vega, and myself are the city's investment officers. Melba has decided to retire, and so we are required to replace her, even though it's on a temporary basis, until we make a replacement of Melba Carvajal.
I make that motion.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
And I'd like to publicly thank Melba for all the years that she worked here. She is a hard worker, came through for this city, extremely important position, and just through the years has done so much for us in the investment and audit arena for this city.
Great. Thank you.
B is a resolution of the Board of Commissioners, City of McAllen, Hidalgo County, amending text pool authorized representatives and providing an effective date. And so that coincides with the item that before, Melba, we recommend approval.
So I move to approve said resolution.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
C is resolution nominating a representative for the Hidalgo County Appraisal District Board. Mayor and Commissioners, current members are Albert Cardenas, Joe Olivares, Amador Requeñas, Richard Garza, Eddie Betancourt, and Pablo Villarreal. And so today you don't vote on the number of votes that any one of them would get. You just nominate the people that you want considered.
Nominate Albert Cardenas.
Make a second to that nomination.
Okay, any discussion?
Make a motion to close nominations.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the nominee?
I'll make a motion to make.
That was the motion.
Well, that was.
That's motion, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just asked that the nomination close, that's all.
Got it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
6A is a request of Greg Burkett on behalf of Park at Nolana LLC to consider a sign variance at 3200 Nolana Avenue.
Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioner, there's a request to withdraw this request at this time.
Okay, so we can pass on any discussion. Okay.
No action?
No action.
No action. 7A is receive an annual update on the status of reinvestment zone number 1.
You're back.
I'm doing my exercise today. I need it. Okay. Oops, wrong one. Bear with me 1 second, please. Technical difficulty. There we go. Okay, for some good news.
What do you mean? We had a great budget.
Very good budget, yes. No, and more good news, more good news. So this is the presentation of the 2023 City of McAllen Annual Update for the Tres Lagos Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone. Under 311 of the tax code, we're required to give you an update annually about the status of the zone, the health of the zone financially, its performance, and whether it's on par with where it's supposed to be in the finance plan, the 30-year finance plan or not. And this presentation fulfills that obligation. We're also required to do that under the interlocal agreement between Hidalgo County and the city and the TERS board. We also file an annual report to the comptroller, which will reflect this information in the filing. I'll go through a series of photos as quickly as I can for you to show you some of the progress that's being made out there at the project. This is 2021 shot to show you an example of what it was a couple of years ago, and comparatively, this is the current, and you can see the number of homes that have been added, the businesses, the expansion into the background of the picture from one photo to the next. It's growing very rapidly. Again, here's another aerial that shows a view of the project. And then you look to the right in the center section and you see the, you see the expansion, which includes a number of improvements, additional park improvements, the new shops that have been added, the shops at Tres Lagos, which have come out of the ground now, are being occupied. Phase 1 of that is completed. Phase 2 is moving forward, and that'll soon be completely done, that whole circular commercial center, which will add sales tax to the city's revenue stream, substantial amount of sales tax. Again, the North Park is another new improvement that's been put in, providing another quality amenity to the TERS and the PID in the area. And the lakes are continuing to be maintained properly, and there's been upgrades and expansion to those lakes in the last 24 months. Go back one. The amphitheater is back in action after COVID. Now we're back into swing with that and having performances and events. The community pool center is being kept up very well. We get a lot of compliments on the quality of that amenity center and how well it's maintained. There have been improvements inside of the community center with regard to some upgrades and fitness equipment and other matters that have been addressed as the wear and tear on them needs to be addressed. There's another shot of the pool. Farmers Market, an important community event that supports the area and also brings local vendors out, is something that we're focusing again, that's post-COVID. You all have been out there and you've seen the quality of housing, masonry construction, everything from entry-level housing all the way up to $1 million plus homes. That's being built out very well, including the gated, more exclusive Estancia area. Aquilina 2, which is a second move-up home subdivision, is underway and being built out currently. 45 lots in phase 2. And that is going to be a very nice development, the same quality of landscaping, integration of parks and linear trails, amenities, and then also Cascada 3, which is a move-up development, phase 3 of that with 94 lots, is going down on the ground and being built up vertically as well. Some shots of that particular entryway and layout. In phase 2, there's 50 lots. In phase 1, 71 for that total. At Belterra, at Tres Lagos, we have the rental community. This is the first rental community in Tres Lagos to address the workforce housing need, and we're really excited about this. It's again, COVID-linear designed. Every home has vista and views built into the design of the home, so it's a more open concept. And there are 71, total of 71 rentals that are going under construction. Groundbreaking is, I believe, in 2 weeks for phase 1 on that project. So you can see here the excavation work being done near the A&M campus. And then the Brisas at Tres Lagos, an entry-level home product. This will be phase 1, 125 lots. So this is moving out very quickly, and as you all mentioned earlier in your budget discussion, there's been a tremendous amount of growth in McAllen. A very large part of that growth has been in Tres Lagos, and we're very happy and proud of that event. Your vision and your future planning in doing this project has secured the economic development of your city quite well. The A&M campus has continued to expand. The expansion was announced some time ago and is being worked on to build that out. Idea Tres Lagos is doing well at full enrollment. There have been some traffic issues. Those have been addressed with the board of the school district, and those traffic issues are being worked on to be mitigated with regard to queuing and some vehicle movement issues. Projected values, and this is where it gets really good, that when you actually adopt it, when the commission adopted this plan back in 2016, we looked into the future and did the best we could to predict what the values would be. So we predicted in 2023 that the taxable assessed value would be $298,174,760. Remember, the base value when this started was only about $1 million. Under the Hidalgo County Appraisal District zone values, the appraised market value is $359 million. The assessed value is $325 million, and the taxable value is $265 million. That means the captured value, which is that amount less the base that produces the increment, is at $358 million with an assessed value of $324 million and a taxable value of almost $265 million. The projected tax base, the current tax base was $359 million, as you saw on the earlier slide, and the assessed value $325 million. The projected tax base that was done back in 2016, looking to the future, are these numbers here, which mean we have an overperformance in market value of over $61.4 million and an overperformance in assessed value of $27.2 million. So it's a very successful story, and that's a very strong economic development generator for the city. So the total cost to get there up to date is $101 million roughly, and that includes all categories, including the $24.5 million bonds that were issued to secure A&M in this development and in the city limits. So around a quarter of that was for the A&M project infrastructure. The status of the budget, this is a little hard to read on the screen, but you've got it in front of you. You can review it. It's doing very well. There's about $170 million left in committed projected revenue spending over the next term of the TERS through the end of the 30-year cycle. And I will tell you that you're on projection right now to have a build-out value of over $3.6 billion at the end of the term of the TERS. When that happens, 100% of that tax flow will come back into the city, and that year and every year there forward, you're going to have a huge windfall in taxation revenue that will benefit the entire community and the entire tax base of the city. So we're very pleased to provide you with this update. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Any questions? Are there any signs of development outside of Tres Lagos?
Yes, in fact, Tres Lagos has spurred a lot of activity in that northern sector. And in fact, the PUB right now is looking at having to do some sewer line expansion. We're going to be meeting with them tomorrow. There's a lot of need for additional infrastructure, drainage, sewer, water in that area to continue, allowing the expansion in the area. But it served as a catalyst. And the biggest thing that's going to really make it take off is when we can get the Ware Road realignment done, which we've all been working on trying to do and get expedited. It's supposed to be funded. We just have to start construction through TxDOT. But that will really open up that corridor to more traffic capacity and more growth and development in the area, in addition to the PUB utility expansions.
Also the expansion of Monte Cristo.
And Monte Cristo, yes, exactly.
So with the combination of Ware Road and Monte Cristo being expanded, it'll be very good, not only for Tres Lagos, but all that area,
Right.
which a lot of it is in the city of McAllen.
Correct. And with the limitations placed on annexation of cities through the legislature, it's real critical that continue to be developed out so your tax base can continue to expand and your tax rates can continue to decrease year after year.
Sounds good.
And our involvement for that whole area, not only this community, with the fire and police substation that is in progress right now. That'll help service that whole area better, but also will relieve the current one, the closest one, to service better all the interior of our city. So it's a win-win situation. Growth has paid for all of this, and that's what we look for. We look for good growth to be able to sustain, people wanting to come into our community. And there's a lot of people that want to come into our community.
Absolutely.
That's right. Thanks for the report.
Thank you very much.
Okay. B.
B is advisory board appointments.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and City Commission. This item is for advisory board appointments. Mayor Villalobos nominated Ofelia Everick to the McAllen Library Board. Also, that the names that are highlighted in yellow are members that have resigned from the advisory boards, and those that are highlighted in orange are members that have termed out and are no longer eligible for reappointment. And at this time, I will entertain nominations for any member nominations or appointments you wish to make at this time.
Any additions?
I want a replacement of Evelyn Cano to be on the, what is that?
Disability.
Disability board for mine.
Any other additions? Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes.
C is Immigration and Respite Center report.
Honorable Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners, immigrant drop-off numbers from CBP and ICE continue to gradually rise. We had 2 weeks ago 3,640 dropped off for the week. Last week that number increased to 3,940. So average over the last 6 weeks has been 537 per day. Over the last 2 weeks, that's increased slightly to 541 per day. The COVID positivity rate over the last 6 weeks has been 3.6% and then 3.7% over the last 2 weeks. Anzaduas Park remains active with a current population of a little below 100 and a capacity for 2,500 if needed. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
We're at about 100 or so average a day, and now we're at like 500. Is there a catalyst for this, a reason for this? No?
There are several things. Obviously there are seasons where you see the immigration increase and decrease. It's possible that part of that is due to what were anticipated to be lower temperatures, which obviously didn't happen. But we're seeing that nationally. The numbers, when we finish this next month, we should see numbers that increase or that surpass the total apprehensions across the border for the last 4 years. We'll hit a record again for this year. So the numbers are definitely on the increase. And we have seen, as I've mentioned before, the population surges of immigrants change throughout the entire southern border. And so sometimes it's here, sometimes it's other places, and the Border Patrol, CBP, has done an excellent job of really moving people around so that they can make sure that they can process people as quickly as they need to under their federal guidelines.
Okay. Any comments?
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Future agenda items. Any agenda items to add to our workshop list? No. All right. Then, City Attorney.
All right, Mayor Pro Tem, 8A and B are items to be discussed in executive session, and I would recommend a motion to recess into executive session at this time.
Okay, is there a motion to recess?
Motion to recess.
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same time. Okay, well, we're now going into executive session.
That's because he's my good buddy.
You're bad. You're a bad homeboy.
We- Discussion, if you like, just kind of stay here a little longer, if that's what you're alluding to. Okay. We're back from executive session. Mr. City Attorney?
Okay, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, for item 8A, we'll take no action. For item 8B, I do recommend a motion to authorize the city manager and city attorney's office to respond to the proposal offering economic incentives on the terms and the priorities discussed in executive session.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? I'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right. Today being Yom Kippur, I wanted to issue a blessing to those that participate in that. And so, there being no further business, this meeting is adjourned.
Regular City Commission meetings are held on the second and fourth Monday of each month. Meetings are rebroadcast on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays on the McAllen Cable Network.
The scene to render assistance. While he was involved in the rescue operation, the South Tower fell. He was buried alive before being rescued. As he was waiting to be transferred to a boat on the Hudson River, the North Tower fell.